The Economist interviewed the President of Sri Lanka in Colombo on the 14th of August. The country was obviously in crisis last time they were in Sri Lanka. They said, "We got in last night and the vibe has changed tremendously. It's visible on the streets on the way in from the airport. What has happened since July 21st to have caused that change?" Ranil Wickremesinghe said, "Firstly, I think people wanted law and order. Many people are losing out. Employed people can't go to work. They had complaints about the government, but when President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Mr. Wickremesinghe's predecessor, left, they were willing to give us another chance. The president's election went constitutionally, Parliament voted and has taken on the existing cabinet, so we can call for an all-party government with people from outside within the committee system. We will devise some new mechanisms for that. People know that we are all going in for a tough time and they want to get out of it as soon as possible." Even those supported the protest movement from about the end of May were tired of chaos and they didn't expect the violence that took place on the 9th and the 13th. Regarding the IMF bailout, Mr. Wickremesinghe said, "We have been discussing. There are about 3 items that have been finalized and the team is coming. You're also picking up the discussions with Lazard and Clifford Chance, the Sri Lanka's financial and legal advisors. The problem is that the disturbances of July pushed back the time for this to go ahead. If we get the board agreement, we can get some of the other organizations' advances and get us some money until the tranche comes through. But more than that, it will inspire investor confidence. We speak to some other countries too. The main issue after that is debt sustainability. First, we have to tackle this with the significant official donors. Then, for the first time, you'd have to go to the London Club of private creditors." The situation today, as you observe, is that the long queues for fuel vanished. The noise of traffic has returned. So have the crab and the cassava chip hawkers on the seaside promenade and the ambling families munching their snacks. The protesters are gone, some evicted by force, the rest eventually leaving voluntarily. The security present has dwindled too. Power cuts, although still commonplace, are markedly shorter. A sense of normality has returned. IMF eyes creditor assurances as it prepares for Lanka's visit. The International Monetary Fund said it would need adequate assurances from Lanka's creditors for a new program as it prepares a visit to Colombo later this month. The goal of the visit is to make progress on a staff-level agreement for an aid package in the near term to help the island nation weather a severe economic crisis, the IMF said on Friday. The IMF said that staff from the global lender would be in Colombo from August 24th to 31st. Because of Sri Lanka's public debt is assessed as unsustainable, approval by the IMF Executive Board of the Extended Fund Facility Program would require adequate assurances by Sri Lanka's creditors that debt sustainability will be restored, the IMF said. Reuters reported on Thursday that Sri Lanka would ask Japan to invite the Indian Ocean Islands leading creditors nations, including China and India, to talks on bilateral debt restructuring. The IMF said that staff from the global lender would be in Colombo from August 24th to 31st August. The loan package negotiated with the IMF is for about 2 billion and 3 billion, according to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who said he would present an interim budget in September focusing on fiscal consolidation measures agreed with the IMF. Sri Lanka's central bank governor Weerasinghe on rate hike, IMF talks. Central Bank of Sri Lanka Governor Nandalal Weerasinghe discusses monetary and fiscal policies, the outlook for the economy and the talks with the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. The central bank earlier raised borrowing costs in a bid to rein in record prices that have stoked Asia's fastest inflation. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said on Tuesday that talks with the IMF are complicated because the nation is bankrupt. Governor Weerasinghe speaks on Bloomberg Markets Asia.
Is in a debt servicing which is virtually impossible at the moment. What difference does 100 basis points make when you've already doubled the cost of borrowing there since the start of the year, Governor?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. The decision today to raise our policy rate by 100 basis points, in fact, based on the inflation, the current headline inflation, as well as to curtail inflation expectations going forward. Obviously, if you can remember, soon after I took the office in April, 8th of April, first day, we raised the interest rates, policy rates by 700 basis points. At that time, inflation was not that high, but we knew inflation was going to come up because that was already happening, the excess demand that was generating in the economy, and also depreciation of the currency as a result of floating the rupee at that point was going to have impact on the inflation on the rise for balance period of this year. So that was the first move. And then what we realized, the still inflation was rising, and it was rising more than what we expected at that point. And now what we see going forward during the next couple of months, headline inflation will be going up further, mainly as a result of the supply chain issues. As you know, there are a lot of shortages in fuel, medicine, yeah.
Governor, the rupee's really been crushed, and this is just adding to not just global commodity and supply inflation. It's made much worse by the decline of the rupee, so you've got to sort that out. Maybe 100 basis points may do a little bit, but not that much. So what do you want to do? What is your roadmap as you start off your 6-year term here? What policies will you be employing?
Yeah, I think main policy objective from the central bank is to achieve monetary stability, curtail inflation. This is, and also to address overall macroeconomic instability that we are experiencing now. The worst crisis Sri Lanka has experiencing since the independence. So the policy package entail a lot of other policies. Not only the monetary policy is not the only game in the town in this kind of crisis situation. So we are doing our best to use the monetary policy as one instrument to achieve overall macroeconomic stability. But there are other policy gaps that need to come in because of the legacy issues. Key part of the policy package is to bring in fiscal consolidation. That, in my view, has been a little delayed than what we expected since I took the office in April. So that is where, in our discussion with the IMF, we are going to commit a strong policy package in the fiscal policy and also strong structural reforms package for state-owned enterprises. Those are the key urgent other policy packages that has to come in together with the monetary policy action that we already taken. Without those policies, our recovery process will be much delayed, will take longer time. So this is where we have urged the other policy makers. Yeah.
That was the talk given by Governor Weerasinghe on rate hikes.
His congratulatory message to President Wickremesinghe, WHO Director General said the procurement has already been initiated and that the list, including delivery times, will be shared through the WHO country office. He noted he has tasked the WHO Health Emergencies Program to take immediate action to meet the most urgent health needs of the people of Sri Lanka. He also said that the WHO will closely monitor the health risks to the population, including the functionality and resilience of the health system, and provide the necessary technical assistance to strengthen provincial health services. The WHO chief also assured that the UN Health Agency looks forward to continuing and strengthening collaboration with Sri Lanka to promote health, make the world safe, and serve the vulnerable.
I hope this presentation was useful. Stay safe, stay well, and goodbye for now.